710. And joining us to talk about this and also A-Rod, I know he can talk about everything because he's a great, great attorney, the wonderful attorney, Adam Thompson. How are you, Adam?
Doing great, Rita. Thanks for having me on.
I'm doing great, too, and I'm going to throw you up for a loop because the story just broke. I want to ask you about A-Rod in a second, but what's your reaction hearing that it was an undercover detective who was off duty, and it sounds like he was part of the bike group and didn't blow his cover until he came to the cops afterwards and said, hey, by the way, I was there?
Well, it's kind of mind-boggling, but I do know that when there's long-term police operations involving undercovers, they at all costs try to remain anonymous and not blow that cover under all circumstances. So, I'm not surprised that if this really is a long-term operation and he's been infiltrating this group for whatever reason, maybe they believe they're involved in a lot of illegal activity or drug dealing, whatever it may be.
But let me ask you, Adam,
bigger fish.
What's the liability at the time? And again, we don't know. It sounds like he was part of this group. So say he was part of this group from beginning to end when they started, abusing other drivers and kind of there were reports of banging on the window and all this other stuff. And then it gets to the point where this guy is right there and they're banging on the windows. They're dragging him out of the car. We don't know what the role. Who knows what this off duty? Was he sitting back on his bike watching the whole thing? I mean, at what point doesn't he have an obligation to do something, even if he doesn't want to blow his cover? You heard my allegation. Get on the phone, pretend like you're talking to your wife, and you're instead calling 911.
Right. That's where there's a line that's being crossed. He's there and he doesn't want to blow his cover, but at the same time, if he sees blatant criminal activity that's going on involving, obviously an open area, you're on the highway. This wasn't an incident that took place and ended within seconds where you might not have an opportunity to act or do something. This went on. This was a chase that started at one location, continued. It went on and on for miles, chasing him, following him until the drivers pulled out and attacked right on the street. You would think at some point he could have, as you said, in an anonymous way, pulled out a phone like he was making a phone call to a friend. He could have pretended, did whatever he could have done, but he actually could have made a phone call and put in that there was, using police codes, that there was an incident in progress. He quickly gave a location and let police officers respond. The fact that he didn't do that, that's what I find to be highly questionable, and I think that's what he'll be questioned about. The other thing is this happened days ago. Why are we just hearing about this officer now? You would think that the minute that the incident happened, he would have immediately the same day said, hey, listen, I was there, I'm on the job, here's what happened.
Exactly.
I was off duty. To pop in now days later makes it very, very curious to me. That would be where the question would start for me. What did he wait for to report this?
Yeah, there are so many questions. And what did he see? What could he have stopped? What could he have, if he can't figure out that there's some way he's got to call and stop this, or at least say, hey guys, pretend like you're one of the bikers. Maybe this isn't a good idea. Let's not do this to this family. You don't want any havoc. You don't want the cops to come. Pretend like you're trying to, whatever. I mean, to me, it doesn't sound like any of this happened. He just kind of acted and sat back as far as we're seeing. But this, I think, is a whole new twist. I want to get you real quick on A-Rod. Speaking of lawsuits, A-Rod has filed a huge lawsuit against Major League Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig, saying they've destroyed his reputation. He's lost tens of millions of dollars in salary because of this game suspension and the reputation being destroyed. What's your take on this, Adam Thompson?
It's complete nonsense. This is a total dog and pony show. He's just putting up a big facade right now. If you look back at Lance Armstrong, all those allegations when they surfaced for him, he outright denied everything, was outraged that they would even make an accusation, and then he immediately filed a lawsuit against all those commissions making the allegations. Basically, it's a public relations move. And then eventually, I think a day after it was filed, the court threw out that entire lawsuit by Lance Armstrong as being nonsensical.
So you think the same thing's going to happen?
Same thing here. Listen, all matters involving baseball get decided through arbitration. So first of all, they're going to say he can't even bring the lawsuit because the contracts and collective bargaining agreements call for specific arbitration rules to resolve these disputes. So him bringing it in court outside of that process, the court on that alone could probably just toss it. But the fact that he's so clearly involved in this, when they always say the best defense is an offense, that's clearly what he's doing here, trying to save face to some degree. But I mean, it really just paints a further tarnish on his reputation that when you're so caught and it's so obvious that not only are you not showing any kind of, apology for your conduct, but that you're taking it to this level now, blaming the people that are bringing the charges.
Right, it makes it look
worse and worse.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah,
Attorney Adam Thompson, thank you so much. Awesome to have you on the show, Adam. Thank you, as always. Love having you on, Adam. What do you think? I think Adam brings up some great points. I think A-Rod looks like a sore loser. I think, it doesn't sound like he's going to have any justification. And is this all about reputation, saving his skin and trying to look good in front of, the public and, oh, no, how dare they? This is over the top. Or do you think that the 211 game suspension was just way too much? And maybe by doing this and also all the other things that he's doing behind the scenes, maybe he gets it reduced just, for the havoc of this. Maybe he'll say, I'll drop the lawsuit if you reduce it. What are your thoughts? It's 1-800-321-0710. 1-800-321-0710. Do you think that this is all a PR